Hey everyone, and welcome back to my completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS and Ascension. And in this episode we're going to be able to chill out for a moment and take a little break from this formula we've experienced in so many of the recent episodes, basically ever since we stepped into level 3 of Watcher's Keep, which was pretty much major fight after major fight after major fight. And we're still going to have a lot of action in this episode, but kind of in a different setting. But before anything else, let's do some level ups. Level 26 in Mage on Senshira. A very significant one, as you can see, plus 1 hit point. And then Jaheira was already able to level up in Druid, very nice. Got some low-level spell slots, and when it comes to her high-level ability, I think the most optimal path would be to give more hardiness to Jaheira. She needs a lot of those, or perhaps even going for another power attack or critical strike, or even whirlwinds whenever she doesn't have improved haste active. This might prove to be a nice damage increase here and there. But I think this time we're going to give her Implosion, just because Druids don't have access to that kind of spell. This can be somewhat comparable to a Bolt of Glory, the level 6 Cleric spell, at least in the fact that it's a single target damaging spell that bypasses magic resistance, but Druids have no such thing, so let's give her Implosion just for the option of having it, although I'm not really sure how much we're actually going to use it. And now level 37 on Anomen, and 37 on Kirinai. By the way, this +2 Find Trap skill that she sometimes has is a kind of a side effect, I think a little buggy side effect from Remove Fear, believe it or not. Actually, that buff gives her the +2 Find Traps. Anyway, I am going to leave it at this point. There is going to be a very exceptional trap that we're going to encounter in this episode, but I actually want to keep her skill a little lower, just to showcase that it's different from most other traps, and we're going to give her that greater evasion that we've been working towards. Alright, also before we do anything else, we need to already set up a spell sequencer with our old spells basically before we rest. On both Imoen and Senshira we're going to set up some Mage Dispellers with a triple secret word on Imoen, and we're going to create a double secret word and a spell thrust one on Senshira. We are about to rest soon, and I just wanted to make use of these spells, just so that after we rest and use these sequencers, we are going to be able to set up new ones, because there are going to be a lot of different mages potentially for us to dispel. Also, in between episodes I've already changed the spell arsenal of our casters, focusing a lot on AoE spells, actually on Imoen and on our Divine casters. They actually have a lot more Firestorms. Anomen has 3, and Jaheira has 2, and also 2 Globes of Blades. Because we are going to be stepping once again into the territory of very magically resistant enemies, and also enemies that are going to come in great numbers. So I thought it would be fun to focus on some AoE spells. That preferably bypass magic resistance, but not necessarily. You'll see on Imoen that she is going to have a lot of spells that are still going to be useful even though they don't bypass magic resistance. Also, before we get going, this energy drain icon here is going to just stay until it's dispelled. Even though Demogorgon of course didn't manage to actually level drain us, but 3 of our party members do have that energy drain thing. So we are going to restore it. I have prepared Hindo's Doom that can cast Lesser Restoration, and we're also going to just take 2 of the Restoration Scrolls. We're going to rest anyway, so we're going to be able to do that.
What is it?
And just remove these icons just so they don't bother us. Actually, fatigue is not going to matter, so Jaheira can cast that as well. Oh yeah, of course. We're actually going to have to do it after we travel, because our Divine casters still have their Shields of the Archons.
Yes, it will be done.
So let's do that travel so that these can expire. We're going to actually visit Karthus for the last time, kind of on our way back south. Because of course we have managed to complete a major part of our adventure, Watcher's Keep, a major dungeon, and now it is time to go back to the Kalim Desert, I guess, and engage in some other adventures. Alright, now we are able to get rid of that energy drain on both Anomen and Kirinai. And then we're going to be ready. I've already prepared some stuff to sell and to recharge to buy back, I guess. So we're going to do this on camera because we don't have a lot of stuff to sell. And I wanted to showcase the process of what we're going to recharge. So we basically have our Rod of Reversal stashed here and 4 Wands of Spell Striking. 2 of them had 2 breach charges left, 1 of them had only 1 charge, and 1 of them had all the breach charges depleted on it. So we're going to recharge all of those. And yeah, we also have some crafting items prepared here in this bag of holding. And yeah, we're going to just buy back the Rod of Reversal and all of the Wands of Spell Striking. They are going to be recharged to 6 breach charges. And yeah, Senashira still has her wand with 4 of those, and I think Kirnai has one with 3, but we have recharged basically everything else. So let's actually get these out and just give them to Saravok's bag of holding, and we are going to give this one to Imoen, just so she has a fresh one. We can also stash Hindo's Doom and say a final farewell to Karthis. We are not going to see you again. I guess you're still waiting for that caravan, huh? And basically, we don't really have any business to do in Amkethran. We can progress directly to Sendai's Enclave. Yeah, in this episode it is going to be time to visit our ball-spawn sister and maybe have a little sleepover party. You know, hopefully she has some ice creams. Maybe we're going to have a pillow fight in the end. Well, maybe not so much a pillow fight, but a fight nonetheless. Because we hate our sister. Anyway, let's just arrive there. And we're actually going to be able to make camp in this little forest, in this green area. And you know what, before we actually engage in that adventure, of course we need to stop by and talk to our butler, Sespinar, because of course we have that crafting stuff for him to do, and it is going to be very important for us, very useful. Let's just drop some of the items that he would pester us about, and I think that should be it. And let's just do a quick crafting session.
What's that? Sharp.
Yeah, now we have some money again, more of a financial cushion, I guess. And yeah, we can combine Ixil's Spike and Ixil's Nail to create a +6 enchanted spear. Unfortunately, it is not that useful. We are just going to keep it for the fact that it has free action on it, which in most cases, especially at this point in the game, is a very detrimental effect, because in Baldur's Gate it blocks haste and improved haste, but you know, it might be useful in some situations where we kind of get dispelled. Maybe we get surprised by some kind of debilitating spell that would be blocked by free action. We can give this to someone, and it does have the potential of dealing some really good damage, but yeah, it's not really going to be useful to us.
Ooh, big weapon this. You overcompensating, maybe?
Yeah, Ravager. Now that we have obtained the Serpent's Shaft, we've had the Ravager from before, and this is going to be an excellent weapon for Saravok now. Although his Sword of Chaos +4 still has its uses, because of the magic resistance it still, you know, gives, and that healing through the magic damage it deals, and you know, through the health it's able to drain that way. Oh, this is just Spectral Brand. We're going to hear more about that later, once we are ready to upgrade it.
I keeps on looking like a wild ranger. Ooh, what's this? Oh, one hot club. Pow, straight to the moon. Alright,
so Club of Detonation actually requires one of our Rings of Fire Resistance, one of the 2 ones that give us 40% fire resistance. So this is actually not something that I would consider worth it to go for, even if you have Jaheira, because Jaheira can end up wielding Spectral Brand, and she is going to end up wielding that weapon in the end, even in our party composition. But I am going to go for this upgrade because, of course, you know, Completionist playthrough, and also for a while she is going to wield that weapon. It's an interesting weapon and a very, very damaging one. But yeah, losing that Ring of Fire Resistance is going to be a little detrimental for us. We are not going to be able to, well, obviously have as many items that can provide fire resistance, which is of course a valuable thing, having resistances coming from items. So a source of basically undispellable resistance. Now it's going to be a little bit more complicated for us.
Ooh, what? You use a sling? What is you, a big sissy?
Yeah, so Aryan Sling doesn't need anything else, just money. And it's just going to get +1 enchantment level. And yeah, nothing really special to say about it. Didn't drop anything. Alright, let's just re-equip ourselves and talk a little bit about our new goodies. Alright, so Ixil's nail we're going to put away. Yeah, Aryan Sling +5 creates some +4 bullets and just a very high enchantment sling. I guess we can swap our trusty Arla's Dragonbane. That doesn't really see much use, of course, at this point in the game, but yeah, we can get rid of it. Now, the Club of Detonation +5. So +5 enchantment, +5 fire damage with each hit, and then 30% of inflicting additional 15. And this procs very often, especially on a dual-wielding character, especially, of course, if you have, you know, improved haste. This is just an incredibly damaging weapon for opponents that are not immune to fire. And then this chance of unleashing that fireball is actually reduced from 7 to 5%. And we are going to play around this for a little while, because Jaheira is going to be using this weapon just for a while, before we kind of rearrange our weapon setup soon. And then finally we have Ravager +6 enchantment, and now, besides this Cloak of Fear that it can cast, now it's of course +6 enchanted, can deal from 3 to 18 poison damage, provided that the target fails their save versus poison, and then it has just a flat 10% chance of instant killing an opponent. No saving throw, no chance to avoid it. Well, unless, of course, some of the most prominent opponents, of course, are immune to that kind of effect. But a lot of powerful enemies aren't, and this is just a flat chance. And this is also like an extremely Saravok type weapon, where it just, you know, provides him even more opportunities to instantly kill. So that combined with his, you know, Deathbringer's Assault and his Death Blows means that he is just a combatant that is just going to regularly just instant kill people, like he's been doing a lot. Let me just check if there's nothing laying on the ground. I'm a little bit paranoid about my forgetfulness whenever I decide to drop items on the ground. But yeah, now we're going to be able to engage in this adventure. There's one more thing about Sendai. Of course, you might remember that name still from Baldur's Gate 1, where south of Nashkel we met that little hunting party of Sendai Argrim, a member of the Argrim noble family from Amn, and she was accompanied by Alexander and Delgod, 2 archers, and we had a fight with her. And of course in Shadows of Amn we have met Lord Ketlar Argrim, an anti-mage fanatic that we had to imprison in the course of the Planner Sphere questline. But anyway, we have ended up in some kind of a green foresty area with this woodcutter. Before we really talk to him, let's just loot his home. There's a few goodies here, some random loot, but yeah, primarily this Rune of Clangeddin, which is going to be used to upgrade our rune hammer. It's not really that important of an upgrade, but it is something. It is kind of notable in the fact that oh, what am I doing with these arrows? I should be stacking the ammunition somewhere else, of course. But yeah, I was about to say that the upgrade to the rune hammer is notable in the fact that it is going to provide us with another item that gives us immunity to fear, which, you know, can be sometimes slightly worth it. Anyway, we are going to rest now, recharge our spells, and yeah, I think this was basically everything I wanted to say. Now we can talk to this woodcutter. Of course, he says that it's a private property. He's going to cultivate the none of your business kind of attitude. And if we mention Sendai, he is going to be a little bit more talkative. A ball spawn? Huh. I don't know nothing about that, but I know I was over chopping firewood by the clearing to the west of here. I thought I caught a glimpse of some funny looking elves. Could have been my imagination though. I ain't never seen elves with black skin before, and they were only there for a second before they vanished. I don't normally like strangers in my woods, but if you want to check out my story, I guess that would be okay. Look for the wood cards in the southwest clearing of this forest. Alright, thanks. We are going to investigate that. By the way, the thing I wanted to showcase about a specific trap is this one over here. This one actually is a huge exception in the whole game, in the fact that it requires 110 find trap skill to disarm reliably. But even if you are a little bit below that, like Kiranai has 105, she is still going to be able to disarm it, just she might fail a couple of times before she succeeds. Alright, there we go. Now, before we check out that clearing, we are going to have to prepare Saravok a little bit for it, because he is going to be our main actor. We are going to de-equip everything that has any charges on it. Oh yeah, also I forgot. This Rod of Reversal is something that Saravok normally has equipped in his quick slot, and yeah, basically that's going to be it. And we're going to give him 2 potions of magic protection so that he can have 100 magic resistance, and that is going to make him immune to some Hive Mother's rays, because yes, there is going to be yet another Hive Mother, and that's not even the last one. I mean, I think we've seen enough of them. Yeah, we're going to equip our Wand of Spell Striking here, just to be sure, and let us approach a little bit with everybody, but not too close. And yeah, here's that clearing. And we're just going to charge in with Saravok. Yeah, there are some bones, corpses, and whatnot. And here comes a Hive Mother, 2 Umber Hulk Elders, and 2 Drow spawning in. So yeah, before this, well, this Hive Mother, of course, is going to have the improved mantle and stone skins she's going to start out with. Of course, improved mantle is going to be able to be bypassed by Ravager, but just in case, we are going to use this breach charge from Kiranai on it. Saravok is protected, you know, with 100 magic resistance, and once he gets dispelled by anti-magic ray, he still has 1 more round where he's going to be safe, and that's going to be all the time he needs to dispose of this Hive Mother. Whether he needs to do it by damage alone, that's why we are using breach, just to get rid of that stone skins already, or by the virtue of this Vorpal attack proccing. We'll see which one comes first. Actually, you know, it is very likely that we are just going to instantly kill this Hive Mother with one of his attacks, because Hive Mothers are not immune to that kind of effect. So we're just going to charge in with Saravok there, and use maybe just a normal Whirlwind here to give him 10 attacks. And we can start attacking already. This breach is going to happen in a second. There we go, we can retreat with Kiranai and just watch Saravok do work. You know, he's affected by anti-magic ray. One of the Drow apparently wanted to say hello to the rest of our party. And yeah, this is not proccing yet, but... Alright, we are going to have to use another Whirlwind then. And Saravok just to cut through. Alright, there we go. Now the Vorpal hit procced, and we can move in with the rest of our party. Just get rid of these Umber Hulks so they don't confuse anyone, because we don't, of course, have our pre-buffs yet. Oh, and this is the animation where that additional 15 damage procs from Jaheira. So that's how it looks here. Yeah, so
quickly and precisely, without hesitation.
We are going to be able to loot some stuff. Mostly these Drow have Drow equipment, which whenever, basically the moment we pick it up, not these ones, but there are going to be some of them wielding Drow equipment specifically, and basically the moment we pick those items up, they are going to, you know, disintegrate before our very eyes, basically, into adamantine dust. But yeah, there are those Elven chainmails +3 that are going to sell for quite a lot. I should be looting this with Saravok. Just re-equip yourself, my man. Alright, and there's also a little gravesite here. And I just want to bring a little bit of attention to it, because if we inspect these graves here, that seem to be like hastily, freshly made, we are going to be able to ask this woodcutter about it, but I'm just going to provide a screenshot a little bit later, once this whole sequence ends, because of course if you know what to do in this situation, you can just attack, you know, whom you need to attack, and just basically progress this sequence quite a bit faster. But I just want to go through all of it normally, just like how you're kind of supposed to discover it for the first time, I guess, and it gives us the opportunity to have a few more fights. Yeah, we can ask about these graves, but anyway, we can talk about the Drow. Drow, is that what them dark elves is called? Drow sounds creepy. You know, come to think of it, there's been some other creepy stuff I noticed lately. I was visiting my wife's grave just north of here when I thought I heard some strange voices. It almost seemed like they was talking right inside my head. But when I looked around, I saw nothing. Why didn't you mention this earlier? Just remember it now. At the time, I figured it was just wind or my imagination. But now that I think about it, it seems like there might be something out there worth investigating. Yeah, the truth is out there, man. Just look for the graveside directly north of the cabin. Yeah, we've seen it already. I'm not going to use this conversation option because this is going to lead to an outcome that we want to happen a little bit later.
I await your command.
Do you have a normal potion there, Sarawak? Just to speed up your healing a little bit. Anyway, here I think I'm going to do something that I've done in the previous episode, and pause here for a little bit, and while I apply the long-lasting buffs like chaotic commands and whatnot, because we are going to need them from now on. So I'll see you in a moment once that is already done. Right, there we go. I have applied chaotic commands, death wards, protection from fire on Seneshira, Kiranai, and Imoen. Actually, we also have a scroll to apply on Animen. You know, we also have protection from evil, remove fear, stone skins and iron skins. And I've already applied the spell protections, spell shield, spell immunity to abjuration, and globe on Seneshira, and just immunity to abjuration on Imoen, because Imoen has some of her level 5 spell slots occupied by other spells, but Seneshira actually has more spell shields and more spell immunities at her disposal, so we're just going to keep her safer. And this is not necessarily this fight we're going to do here right now is not really necessary for such an extensive pre-buff, but these ones are going to just serve us for a long time from now, and basically I just wanted to have them all applied, kind of, you know, not to waste time on video. And we should be fine with these buffs for a while now. Yeah, we're going to haste everybody, and yeah, there is going to be a little bit of a chance of us getting dispelled, not so much by remove magic, we don't really need to worry too much about that, but there are going to be some breaches that can possibly dispel someone, but like I said, I just wanted to have these buffs active from now on, because we are going to need them. And yeah, once we inspect these graves, another ambush. It's we are able to discover a suspicious pattern here, and here we have 2 Gauths only that with our pre-buffs are not going to be able to do anything, and I think this Drow, although she is female, she is going to be a wizard. Yeah, there she is, although she is only level 16, so she doesn't really have much. We should be able to just throw in 1 remove magic and just get rid of her. And let's maybe attack these Gauths in the meantime. Alright, let's quick switch target. And yeah, of course we're making short work of them, because these Drow here are not that dangerous. But this next fight is going to be a bigger deal. Yeah, here they have some Drow equipment and ammunition.
I can hold no more. That item has been dropped.
Well, these are Evelyn Chains +1. I think the +3 is equipped by some more powerful guys that we're going to encounter soon. Yeah, that's basically everything that we can get here.
Yes?
And yeah, this next fight. Basically, here this guy is going to reveal his treachery. and we're going to have a big fight on our hands now. And basically, if you ask him about the gravesite and pressure him with some questions, he is going to reveal that these graves are freshly made because he buried the real woodcutter in there. And you know, you can initiate this whole big fight a little bit earlier. And this is also why I wanted to basically go through this whole sequence normally. Is also why we didn't use any AoE spells in that west clearing, because there are some pretty vicious squirrels there, dude. That would be able to provoke into a fight, and as you will see, these different animals here are just a disguise. But before we initiate the encounter, let's actually present the elemental summoning. Let's see what we get here, what type of elemental. Hopefully not an elemental prince, because I would like to showcase that later with the greater elemental summoning. Alright, we're going to get 2 of something. And also I think we might already... Yeah, we might summon this aerial servant from Enemen as well and apply Blade Barrier on Enemen and Globe of Blades on Jaheira. Alright, we have 2 nice distractions, 2 earth elementals. That's good. Alright, so you have that, my man, and Jaheira already has Globe of Blades. Alright. You yet live? Bah! My underlings are pathetic and weak, and Sendai would have them killed regardless. Very well. I will finish what they could not. Yeah, now they are all going to... this rabbit is hostile now. Yeah, now they're going to... reveal thy treachery. And shapeshift into their normal selves. And these ones are actually really high level. They are all above level 20, and there are going to be some level 24 Kensai in there. There's going to be 1 level 25 assassin. There's going to be 2 level 24 stalkers. So both of these classes can backstab for some decent damage. There's going to be 1 level 20 mage coming from the east here. And some level 22 fighters using ranged weapons. And so, yeah, they basically all have high level abilities. This woodcutter, I think, is a high level berserker. So we're going to see how this all develops. But yeah, basically once they spawn into these warriors, they can of course dish out a lot of damage. Yeah, here's that Drow wizard. We are going to use something that we have not really used yet, and we're going to use this critical strike on Jaheira to make her deal some crits. By the way, of course, our equipment selection and our spells, the protection from fire ones, are of course partially because of what enemies can do, but mostly because of our own Club of Detonation can do. So now we are kind of playing around that, the fact that we are using that weapon, and we are of course going to want to keep ourselves protected. Enemen is in the worst condition because he just has this Helm of the Rock. He can equip his family shield or... I forgot the name, the Morning Star that has Ice Star, that has 20% fire resistance. But yeah, we're not going to go for it just yet. We might do this later. Of course, we have cast Globe of Blades and Blade Barrier because they bypass magic resistance of these Drow. They are all very highly magically resistant, and yeah, this is going to allow us to perhaps deal some damage in these, like, not so crowded yet environments, but still, once these stalkers and assassins approach and are close to us, this might add some nice damage. Alright, so let's focus our attacks here, maybe allow Saravok to do his Vorpal stuff. And we're just going to wait with Imoen until the pre-buffs of this wizard are done, and we'll see what we're going to be able to do there. Alright, so she does have immunity to abjuration. She has Spell Shield and she has Spell Turning. I am going to just quickly send Kiranai over there to detect her illusions. Alright, Jaheira dealing some nice crits, and of course that bonus fire damage. It bypasses magic resistance, by the way, so on these Drow it is also very effective. Yeah, we are just completely destroying them. There was that one fireball unleashed, I think. Wow. I wasn't expecting our performance to be that good. And yeah, the war cries used by these warriors unfortunately feared our distractions, but they were basically, they did what they were meant to do. Basically just get these northern drow off of our backs for a little moment. Alright, her illusions are dispelled. Let's now use Servok to dispel that spell shield. Now we can have Kirinai enter the battle. Have some fun there. As you can see, that additional 15 damage just procs so much. It's just an incredibly damaging weapon, Club of Detonation, but unfortunately you have to give up that one ring. Alright, actually there was a shadow door, so we wasted our... You know what, since we are going to be battling another mage, not on Imoen, let's activate True Seeing on Anomen perhaps. Since there is going to be another mage, let's just kind of not waste Kirinai's time here, but have a True Seeing active. Alright, Assassination was used by this Drow warrior. Yeah, even though they are called warrior, there are a bunch of different classes. Now we might actually deselect Anomen, and in the meantime, well, let's just hang out here, I guess. Yeah, I think a poison weapon of this assassin just poisoned Imoen. We are not going to, well, might as well use an antidote, I guess, on her. She is not going to be doing much this round anyway. But yeah, the Drow inside, actually, the Enclave, are going to have sleeping bolts, something that we haven't really seen yet. Actually, a couple of rounds already passed. Maybe we could just switch to our normal weapons here and just cut through her stone skins. She doesn't have mirror images. There's one Drow warrior pestering us over there, but it shouldn't really matter all that much. Since we have normal arrows here, we're just going to switch to the Bow of Gessen for just a moment. And yeah, that was actually enough to... This is just such an awesome thing when it comes to Firetooth and the Bow of Gessen, that you can use normal projectiles and still have that elemental damage attached to them. And we interrupted her spell. Although that was just a divinatory spell. I think she was just trying to cast True Sight there. Let's go back to our usual stuff here. Not like that. Alright, so I think that might be a stalker, this one guy, who just went into stealth. And yeah, that's enough for you. Actually, let's just allow us to exit combat. Yeah, and now this true entrance to Sendai's Enclave is going to be revealed. Yeah, some illusions were dispelled now. Okay, we have one of our earth elementals under our control. Okay, both of them. Yeah, we have already disarmed that trap that is near the entrance. It's a disintegration trap. Yeah, I think this is one more stalker. Let's just attack this warrior in the meantime. Our damage is just insane here. Yeah, septuple damage, that's an assassin. I think this might be the stalker. Yeah, and before anything else, we are going to check out this place again. Yeah, these squirrels here, and I think there was possibly a moose. Yeah, are going to also change into Drow, and there's going to be one more mage. I think she is also level 20. Let's actually see what she has here. Alright, Simulacrum, Symbol Stun, we don't need to care about that. Immunity to Divination, so we might try some remove magics. Maybe let's throw in a quick one from Senashira. And just proc that Symbol Stun, get rid of these Simulacrum, or Simulacra. Alright, there we go. She is dispelled, bye-bye. Oh man, we are just completely destroying them here. These war cries ain't gonna do no thing, dude. Alright, we need to loot some stuff though. I mean, our financial situation is not that tight anymore, but I would like to get a hold of these, all of these nice potions that they drop. They are not that important, but still, it just pains me to see wealth just rotting on the ground. And those are some actually good strength potions, although at this point in the game, especially soon, we are going to be able to get even more permanent strength increases once we upgrade on Vidal.
I can hold no more. That item has been dropped. What is it? Speak. This will not.
Okay, the 21 strength potion I'm just going to leave.
Yes.
Had some more level ups, by the way. Do we have anything to loot over here?
Speak.
Nope. Let's just see the southern encounter here.
Yes, it will be done. I can hold no more. That item has been dropped.
I'm just trying to do this quickly. And
I can hold no more. That
we're
item has
almost
been
done here.
Pick it up yourself. I'll carry no more.
Don't you sass me, Saravok. Alright, that's going to be it, I think.
What is it?
Alright, so... Wow, it was actually quite a bit of time and we didn't even enter the proper Sendai's Enclave. So I think we're going to leave it for the next episode. And yeah, I thank you for watching. We've had some cool action, but way more is up ahead once we actually make our entrance. So I hope you enjoyed the episode nonetheless, and I'll see you on the next one.